And then once you sign, from what Reggie told me, they put you in a house in Long Beach. They gave you a CL 500. Um, what were some other things that came as a perk to signing your contract that maybe weren't as expected as you thought beforehand?
Well, the biggest perk to me was they had a reputation for have owning the artist publishing. And the fact that I had ownership in my publishing, in that deal was the biggest perk to me because everybody was telling me, "Oh, you go over there, they're gonna have 100% of your publishing. They're gonna do this, they're gonna do that." You know what I mean? And you know, they would stand up about negotiating with me in my contract. You feel me? So that right there was the biggest perk to me. It was cool. To hop in the Benz. You know what I mean? Hop in the Navigator. You know what I mean? And move around. When you're young, those things kind of they feel fly. They are fly, but they're also a target. And that's what I talk to young rappers about today. You know, them same streets that saw you driving a hoopty, you want to go back and flex a little bit. Like, look, I'm in a Bentley now. You know what I'm saying? And that temptation to go back and go back. You know what I mean? Not understanding that it's people whispering around you, like, yeah, we gonna get him. Oh, he think he fly. He think he flossing on us. All right, we gonna get him. Like, not understanding that everybody's not happy for your success. And you got to be super aware. So, those things are cool, but those are the same things that got me into a lot of things and taught me a lot of lessons as a youngster. You know what I mean? Tough learn lessons too. But as far as the perks go, I got to learn the business and I got to, be around the same people that engineered Tupac and Snoop sessions. To me, that's important because your music is only as good as your engineer sometimes, in my opinion. I know people throw out music right now and they don't care if the background vocals is shouting louder than the main vocal and they don't care if the kick is not hitting right. But I care about those things because I care about the art. So to get in there and be able to work with the same sound engineers that Tupac worked with, that Snoop worked with, that Dr. Dre worked with, you know what I'm saying? To get in there and chop it up with Butch, about and get game on the music business and sonics of the music business because he's an outstanding percussionist. See, these things are the valuable things. The business is the valuable thing that you can learn. I asked Suge a lot of questions when we was moving around. You know what I'm saying? Because he saw a lot. He went deep into the industry and he saw a lot on many levels. Some levels that some people will never see. So I asked him a lot of questions to try to get my business IQ together. You know what I'm saying? And those were the super perks. When I left Death Row Records, I felt like nobody in the industry could fuck with me as far as on the business side of things. Nobody, after the things that I learned and been through over there, I had so much confidence in my ability to handle business situations with any other label afterwards. So those were the perks to me.
All right. Can you tell me about the first time I saw, an old podcast series that you'd done back in 2018, and you talked a little bit about the first time you went up to the office and what that experience was like. Would you mind retelling that story about the first time going up to the office after you had signed?
Man, I can't really, it's kind of fuzzy, but I just remember Death Row had a reputation. You feel me? So it wasn't like I was going up to Tommy Boy Records. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was about to slide up into Def Jam. You know what I mean? No, this was the Black Iron Gate. This gate opened up and revealed, you know, lowriders, pit bulls, gang members. You know what I'm saying? Armed security guards. You feel me? It was just a whole different energy. You know what I mean? And the energy made me feel like I was still in the hood. You know what I'm saying? To where it was like, I'm in Beverly Hills in a building that no other African American owns a building of this size at that time in that location, you know, and they conducting business and making millions of dollars. But I still feel that energy. I feel as if I'm on the east side of Long Beach at the homie's house or at King Park or, you know what I'm saying, somewhere like that. You know, it's real gangsters and real people who mean real business right here. You know what I mean? And I'm cool in that environment too. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in that environment. I had no choice. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the only environment my mama could afford to put us in. So, you know, it was just different because I was in Beverly Hills and I was at a building that was responsible for putting out some of the greatest albums in his hip hop history, you know, and they still meant business, you know what I mean, when it came to the street shit. Feel me? So, yeah, I was like, damn, it's really smart for me to keep a firearm on me. Well, these niggas might try to take my head off and I don't even know why.
Okay, so after you do your contract with Death Row and you're no longer Dog Pound Records, you're direct to Death Row. You had the talk with Daz and C Style that you were telling me about how, you know, they said let's do it independent. You chose to go the Death Row route. Um, when did you start to experience any sort of negativity from Daz and from that side as far as you moving to Death Row and not, going the independent route with him?
Well, I think that in the animal kingdom, they the predators kind of prey on whatever's in the closest proximity. You feel me? So, me being in Long Beach, from Long Beach, anytime something came out of Death Row Records, say a diss record dropped, somebody did a diss record on Too Gangster for Radio or something. Anytime there was bad blood, they would try to come at me because I was within arm's reach. You feel me? So, um, it was crazy. I had a conversation with Suge, and he was like, "Man, you need to go ahead and diss the fuck out of Snoop." And I said, "Yo, Suge, I don't want to do that because it's gonna look like I'm just like these other guys that just, wind up dolls. You feel me? And toy soldiers. I just, I just, I don't know if it's time for me to do that. You know what I mean?" He threw a couple jabs at me, and I was like, I don't know if it's time. And Suge told me something. He said, "Yo, don't worry about it, because they going to come at you for being with me, and then you're going to have to respond." And he was right about that. You know what I'm saying? He was absolutely right about that. And, you know, it was it was a learning experience, man, being in the city, doing all the things that I did for my city, and being at odds with a lot of people. You feel me? Like, not just Daz and the rappers, because you gotta understand the entourage is the people that hang around. These are the people that want to get points. They want to say, yeah, we caught Crook slipping at the Lakewood Mall and we stomped him out and took his chain. They want to be able to take that kind of news back. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta make sure that they can't take that news back. You feel me? And it was to a point where they found out that I'm going to stand on my business. You feel me? And it got to that point, and a lot of people was like, yo, we might as well accept that he's on death row because he's over there by himself as far as Long Beach go. He's over there by himself, and he's still living in the city, and he's still going to the Hop, and he's still going to Lakewood Mall, and he's still at the Delamo swap meet, and he's still cruising around the east side in a CL 500, and he ain't going nowhere. And they had to accept that because I was down to stand on everything that I stood for. And that's what ultimately gave me some respect, not being, you know, moved. I went to the funerals. Some of the homies would pass away, and I go to the funeral, and everybody look at me like, "What are you doing here?" Certain niggas, you over there on that side with them. What are you doing here at the funeral? So I had to be strapped in the church service when I was on death row. You know what I'm saying? I had a bulletproof vest of all kinds. Even though rest in peace Buntry told me when it's your time, take that vest off. But I was paranoid. People was making threats. People was following me home. People was following me through the malls. People was running up on me. People was backing up off me. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot going on. And it wasn't no Instagram and Twitter, and it wasn't anything like that where it would be on World Star Hip Hop, but a lot of shit went on behind those scenes. And that's what ultimately I think. And the other day I was talking to a real reputable from Long Beach, and he told me, he said, that's why we respect you, because you held your own. Because a lot of people, dangerous people, they didn't like the fact that you was on death row, and you made it out, and you held your own against anybody that came up to you, and that's why we respect you. And I said, you know what? You should just respect me, homie, for my music, for my craft, But I understand in the gang mentality, sometimes you gotta some people who are some of the members, they feel like you gotta do some shit to get their respect. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do some shit to earn their respect. So I could feel that. But things fell apart because I was partying with these dudes, man. I was young. I loved Daz Dillinger. I loved Superfly. We got a song called I Ain't Shit Without My Homeboys on Streets is a Mother album, Corrupt. You feel me? And that was another life lesson for me. You do something that people don't agree with, and it can get ugly. Just because you chose to go a different route. Not because you tried to get at their woman, or you tried to steal from them, or you disrespected their children or their wife. No. Just because I made the decision to stay on death row. Everybody can't be under Snoop Dogg in Long Beach. Some people got to strike out on their own. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I was doing. And I learned that even people that you close to might switch on you if they feel like, yo, you doing something that they don't want you to do. You know what I mean? But we good today. Me and Daz, we cool today.